Day 69 of the Anything English Speaking Challenge. So today I was binge watching an anime called An Observation Log of My Fiance Who Calls Herself a Villainess. That's the English title of the anime, but for the Japanese, since I do not remember, so I wrote it down here. So it was Jisou Akuyaku Reiju na Konyakusa no Kansatsu Kiroku. And it was an isekai, let's say, not isekai, it was like another reincarnation anime. And I do not remember how did I ended up, started to watch the anime, perhaps because I watched the trailer from Crunchyroll on YouTube video, or perhaps I watched a short video about this anime and I started to, looking for the title and just search for the anime itself and I watch it. I think I started to watch it since yesterday for the first 2 or 3 episodes. And I finished it today. Since I got day off, I got much more free time to watch anime, to do one of my hobby. And it was a seasonal, let's say a seasonal, anime. So usually if it was seasonal anime, the episodes would probably 12, and it was like the anime was ended in the 12th episode, and I do not like. I wouldn't say that it is an extraordinary anime, but it was something that I like. I started to interested to villainous story again. Uh, this past some days, let's say, because like I started from watching, let's say, manhwa recap about Fellaini's, born to be reborn to be Fellaini's, and I ended up got this somehow, video of this anime, and it was the genre was romance. If you do not like the romance genre, I think I will, just put on the screenshot of the trailer of the anime, so you would know, you will know the anime itself. And like the female character, like the female name was Bertia Ibil Noches, if I'm remembering right. Bertia Ibil Noches. And then the male lead was um, Cecil, Cecil something. Al Posto, Cecil, the Crown Cecil something. But let's say like the female who was the one who reincarnated, uh, you know, in the body of Berthia. So Berthia was, let's say, the villainess of the story, and she somehow, she suddenly remember about her previous life as a regular girl in Japan, and somehow reincarnated as this villainous character. And for Cecil, like, she was giving, an antique introduction and an antique, let's say, character in front of Cecile, who was, let's say, a genius crown prince, which had a borrowing life, and somehow she was making him interested to her. And without without her realize, or with her realize, said that she made the storyline, the plot, to deviate it from its original plot. And for that, she tried to to fix it. So that's why she just introduced herself as a villainess, and has her work to separate the crown prince with Heronia, the, let's say, heroine on the Otome game. And then the character of her was like, quite innocent kind of girl. Although, like, in her previous life, she looked like an already adult girl, adult woman, but he was like, she possesses, a piece of a egg, if I remember right, it was like 8 years old um, girl. And then, but like, her character was changed from her original character, actually, because like she possessed the character, like, with her previous having her previous memory of her life. And she was the kind of person who was like talking what she thought, like the kind of blunt girl, but wasn't actually a bad girl, more like an innocent and cute girl, uh, as originally, like an innocent kind, and, let's say, blunt girl when she was talking. And she made the prince interested with her because of this kind of attitude. And she was keeping her antic behavior. And somehow she treated the prince as someone who like wasn't who was outsider of the story, because she was definitely telling about the story about this world. So she was giving information like, so this world was another world based on game otome game, and you were the character in it. And then you know um, she was giving information about the story again and again in the whole, let's say, during the episodes of the story. And then, like, because of the prince was interested towards her, like his fiance, so it felt like the story was go astray. So that's why the female at the Bergia tried to fix it by trying to be a cupid and make the prince fall in love again, let's say again. uh, so it to like fall in love again to the original heroine, which was heroine, he, 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 heroine, heronia, heronia, yeah, Heronia, which was the heroine, the original heroine of the story. And somehow, like, their character was like reversed. So the villainess um, had this kind, cute, blunt character, and the villain, the heroine, had this, let's say, villainous character, and it just refers at some point, and in the end, it wasn't a happy ending with the prince and Bergia was, let's say, married, and even the last moment was when she was telling the prince, who already was her husband, that she was pregnant. And yeah, what I like about the story was because I started to, interested towards villainous story again, and it was anime. And then I don't know, I like her character on the anime, and perhaps because of I like the kind of prince who was, smart, and the prince was the female that was literary genius. But what I didn't really like about the story was because of the intelligent uh, of the prince, so he could prevent any problems, big major problems on the original plots of the story. So it just like it didn't really have a lot of problem in the story, but somehow I still enjoy it. And yeah, I like it because I started to have much more focus watching long videos, and I'm happy with um my hobby, this hobby, and I'm happy about finding an anime that I could enjoy it from the first until the end of the episodes. That's what I can say. I think I need to talk again, like talk much, so I could, talk much more fluently. But I don't know, I'm not sure. Yes, I am sure, but I just need to practice more, I guess. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Bye.